worksheet. So there are 4 sets of questions. Please start with set 1. There are 3 questions. As you can see, there are 3 questions, and please take 5 minutes to solve them. It's now 5:12. Let's start by 5:17. Try to solve the first 3 questions. The match the following type question. Please try to solve them. I think the idea is to just familiarize you with the words. So it's okay if you can't get all the words, but just try to be familiar with the words, and yeah.
So we have to solve VA21
Yes, VA21.
first is a question.
The first 3 questions.
Okay.
Am I audible? Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my voice isn't breaking. If my voice breaks, kindly chat, so I'll just reboot, and I think it's okay. Okay, so please try to. Okay, I think with vocabulary, instead of doing that, we'll just do it together, because it's like general knowledge. You either know it or you don't know it. There's no way you can think about it and all that. So we'll just. Okay, we have someone coming in. So just take 2 or 3 minutes and just quickly try doing it. And if you can't do it, it's perfectly okay. Okay, I think there's a small mistake here. I'm sorry. This word here, puissant, it should have been powerful. Just make that change. Save it. So question 2, I think I mistakenly had the same word in both columns, and make that powerful. So I think I've given you one answer. Okay, we'll just start now. How about the first question? Could you make some kind of an intelligent guess or anything like that? Anyone? I suppose it's not all that
I'm
easy.
just guessing, but A.
Yeah. A. Okay.
I'm just guessing. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll see. Okay. So louche is uh louche is sort of fashionably immoral, you know, someone who's raffish. Raffish is the same thing. Raffish is fashionably immoral. I'll just write that down, maybe in a smaller font so that it fits in. So okay, so it's fashionably immoral, or fashionably disreputed, or anything of that sort. I think you get the general idea. So that's what it means, and that's what both raffish and louche mean. Maladroit, I think there's a clue here with the word adroit. So I think adroit is a more familiar word. Adroit is someone who's skillful, someone who's adept. So a synonym from that would be adept too. So inept. So maladroit is someone who's not adept. Mal, as you know, is a prefix which means bad. So maladroit is not adept. So inept is the same thing. Inept is, like I said, not adept. I think that's the best way to put it. Not adept or not skillful. So I would say you please maintain a notebook and try to make a list of these words. It really will help you, because when you read a passage and if you don't know half the words there, it's going to be quite hard. And your CLAT examination in the past years, they do expect you to have a basic vocabulary. So please work on it. Please maintain a notebook and please try to make a list of new words as and when you encounter them. That's the only way to learn. So mordant is to have a biting wit, you know, because the word more again means deaf. It means to die, right? It's a Latin word mori, which means I die. So mordant is to have a kind of a black humor, you know, some kind of a biting or a deadly sense of humor. I think witty will be the right answer. So mordant is, I would say, it's a kind of biting or killing humor. So when you look at the word more, try to think of deaf, like in the word mortgage or in the word postmortem, etc. We'll come there. Okay. So secession, it means to resign. I think the word secessionist should be more familiar. Secessionists are people who come out of some kind of a political organization. So that is resign. So I think very good. So the answer is A. It's 1C, 2A, 3D, and D. So if you feel some words are new, please make a note of them. That's how we all begin. And in 6 months' time, you look at how much improvement there is. That is the only way to learn language. Okay. Um, we'll move on to the second question. How about that? Any answers for this? Any intelligent guess? Okay, we have
C.
someone saying C. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Pang. Pang is pain, right? Pang is it means pain. Um, but pang could mean a kind of an internal pain, you know, some kind of a depression or something like that. So yeah, so pang is pain. Very good. Egg could be see, egg on someone could be to nudge, right? He was egged on to do something. So egg is a noun. As a noun, it means an egg. As a verb, it could mean to nudge someone or to force someone to do something. So egg would be C. And ameliorate, I think we've done that when we did A. Ameliorate is to make a horrible situation somewhat better. Something like ameliorating poverty or something like that. So ameliorate, it means to make something horrible better. Okay, so that's that. And puissant or puissant, it means powerful or influential. Okay, so that's a French word, puissant. It means powerful, puissant. And pang is pain, egg or egg on. You could have egg on. It could mean to nudge. And ameliorate is to make something better. Okay, so the answer given was C. So yeah, very good. Again, DCBA, very good. That's the right answer. Excellent. Okay, I will move on to the last question. Again, if you find some new words here, please, it's never too late. Just take a sheet of paper and draw some lines and start making a note of these words and keep adding them to the paper and just put the paper in your desk. It doesn't have to be a very formal notebook or notepad or anything. It could just be, or you could use a mobile phone or anything, but just start collecting words. I hope you started. I think I gave you the suggestion last class, but please start doing it now. You could just use your phone, that's well and good. Okay, last question of this set. Okay, how about this? Any answers?
I think it's B.
Okay, very good. We have someone saying B.
I think it's just a second. Yeah, I think it's C.
Okay, we have Arya Uday saying C, and who said B?
Aniket.
Okay, Aniket
Oh,
said.
sorry. It's B. It's B.
Okay, so we have both of them saying B. Okay, we'll look into it. Okay, coherence actually means logical, something that where the whole thing falls in place. You say that an argument is coherent. It means that everything falls in place. It sticks to logic. There's nothing hanging about, right? So everything is systematic and something like that. Okay, that's what coherence means. But literally, physically, cohere means to stick. I think that you talk about particles cohering to a surface. So it means stick. It literally means stick. Okay, so that is D. And discordant is it means, see, you can see the word chord there. So what does chord means in music? Concord and discordance. Chord means, those of you who've learned music, is a bar of music, right? So so concordant means it's organized. It's something like coherent. And discordant means chaotic. Okay, vacillate. They talk about vacillating opinions, vacillating opinions. It means wavering, right? I just mark that, vacillating opinion. It means wavering opinion, something that's vacillating emotions or something like that. Indelible, it means unforgettable. Again, indelible, see, indelible. So just think of it as two words, in plus del-able. So when you think of the word delible, you think of delete. So it's indeletable. Okay, indeletable, something that cannot go away from your memory. So indelible, and you may have heard of indelible ink. Indelible ink is permanent ink that doesn't go off. Okay, so we'll move on to the next set of questions. Are we okay with this? Have you made a note of words that were unfamiliar? Okay, so we'll now move on to the next question. So here you have words, and I've given you a basic definition of the word, and based on that definition, you have to go try and spot the nearest synonym. Okay, so there are again about, I think, 5 questions. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 5 questions. So it's now 7:30, 7:27. Please, we'll get back by 7:32. Just try to solve them. I'm sorry, 5:32. We'll get back at 5:32. Please try to solve them. Oh, I wasn't sharing my screen, I suppose.
No, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I'll just do it now. I'm sorry. I'm so glad someone spotted that. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think somebody had a problem. Okay, fine. Thank you. Dhruv, do we have Dhruv Kamlesh? I think Dhruv has a problem. He's not able to. Okay, I think he's left the chat. I think he'll probably come back. Okay, we'll now start. I think I haven't defined configuration here because I thought it would give the whole thing away, and I thought it was an important word. Okay, so how about 4?
So A.
A. Yeah, I think you can guess from that, but please make a note of these words. Indefeasible is something that keeps going on and on. Is something like ineluctable. Perishable is the exact opposite. Morbid, what does morbid mean? It means, again, the word more. It means death. So morbid is to be inactive, as if you're a corpse, as if you're dead. What does grotty mean? It means dirty. Grotty means dirty. I'll just mark them. Grotty is dirty, and morbid is inactive, boring, dead, figuratively dead, not literally dead. Okay. So, okay, we have Dhruv back. Okay. Okay. So, inactive, boring, and figuratively dead. That's what the word means. Okay. So, okay. How about 5? I think, again, it's quite simple from the options. Any answers for 5?
C.
C, recondite. Very good. Yeah, see, it says esoteric. It means a source of information or an idea or a concept that is considered hard to grasp and rare. So common is the opposite. What does profligate mean? Simple is the opposite. So I can rule out C and D. Um, so so between profligate and profligate means the same thing. It means something that is easily available, or something like that. Okay. So how about 6?
D. Said
Okay, we have some people saying D, and any other answer?
A.
A. Okay, we have people saying A, and we have D. Okay, wily is just being clever. You know, wily is being clever, but it does not. It could be quite innocent. It doesn't necessarily mean. It doesn't necessarily mean malicious.
is it C then?
C, vulgar is again, wanton is malicious, which means uh, to be malicious in a deliberate way. So vulgar, it need not be malicious, meaning it could not be between A and C. I think that I'd go for A. I think cruel is the nearest option.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and how about 7? See, conflagration is destruction by fire, right? Conflagration is uh, conflagration is destruction caused by fire. So here, fire as a verb, I think it would fit in. So that's the answer. So I think the answer could be B. It is destruction, but more specifically by fire. So I thought it's just a word that you could just know. Okay.
So
Yeah.
about the last word, I shouldn't it be destruction because it's a closest synonym as such.
It could be, but I think that there has to be a hint of fire. You know, conflagration. I think it literally means something that sort of catches fire and then it
Yeah,
see,
but fire wouldn't be a synonym for it, right?
fire. See, fire could be so many things. Fire could be just fire, uh, as in an element, or fire could be an incident, a fire accident. There was a fire last night at near my house.
Okay.
So fire could either mean fire in the elemental state, like fire, water, earth, air, whatever, or fire could mean fire accident.
Okay.
I think that the fire here is to be treated in the sense of fire accident, because conflagration is an extensive fire which destroys a great deal of land or something like that. Okay. So yeah, very good. So it's good that you asked that. So okay, how about this bestial? of or like animal.
Savage.
Yeah, very good. Savage. Savage is see, bestial could technically it could mean something to do with mammals. You could talk about the physiology of mammals and all that, but bestial could also mean savage behavior, animal-like behavior. So I think that's the answer. Very good. So we'll move on to the next set of questions now. It's 5:37. We'll start at 5:42. I think this is slightly more interesting. It's not as boring as the things, but I hope you're making a note. Maybe we can start today and you just start making notes of rare words or hard words, because if you become a lawyer, you will do this for the rest of your life. So here, I kind of give you a clue, which is uh, an etymology of a word, and then I give you 4 words. You should find the odd man out, meaning to say the word that does not have the same etymology as the other words. It should have been preceded by a clue. Wrong preposition. Save that too. Okay. We'll start with question 9. What's the answer for that?
So A, I think.
Okay. Any other answer?
Uh, Tentative.
Okay, we have someone
Yes.
say tentative. Any other answer?
Option D, tentative.
Okay, tentative. Okay. We'll right. Uh, uh, if you have some disturbance around yourself, kindly mute yourself. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, very good. See, attenuate is to lose intensity, right? You can say that the voice signal began to attenuate, or somebody's voice began to attenuate. It means to lose intensity, to lose magnitude, to become thin, right? So I think that follows the same etymology as the word tenaire. Thin literally comes from the word tenaire, and tenuous again. What does the word tenuous mean? Tenuous means weak, thin, and very emaciated. Somebody who's going to yeah. So that's what the word tenuous means. Okay, so so I think the answer is tentative, because tentative it just means, it doesn't come from the word tenere, right? It's an adjective. Tentative, it means temporarily, for the moment. So I think tenuous is a word that you could note, and attenuate too you could note. So the answer is tentative, option D. Very good. So how about the next question? The word solvere is a Latin verb which means to loosen up, to cut, or to divide.
Solace. Maybe.
Solus.
Actually, no. Solution.
Yes, sir, Solace.
Okay. See, solution could mean to loosen up, right? So what happens when you add some salt to water?
Yes.
It loosens up and it dissolves. So dissolve, absolve, all of them come from the word. What does absolve mean? I think we've seen absolve. I think this. Okay. I think we've seen the word absolve earlier. It means it comes from adding ab, which means away or from, away from, and the word solvere, which means to go away, to loosen up, or to free someone, to free someone. Very good, very good. Yes, to free someone from some kind of an accusation or some kind of a charge, right? That's what absolve means. So even there, the sense of freeing up, to go um, you do get a sense of freeing someone. So dissolve, literally dissolve, solution, absolve. So they all have the root word solvere, which in Latin means to loosen up. So solus is an entirely different word. Solus, what does solus mean? It means a place where you can go back to relax, or a place that you can depend on. So that's what the word solus means. Okay, so the word mori is a Latin word which means to die. Okay, so post-mortem, so what's the answer here?
Moral.
Moral, very good. Because see, post-mortem, it means, mortem literally means dead, death in Latin. So post-mortem is after death. So post-mortem surgery, something like that. And mortgage is when you sort of want some money, when you borrow your money and you write your house. So even the word mortgage has its etymology with the word death. And rigor mortis, what does rigor mortis mean? It means when you die, your limbs, they get stiff. I think if you've read detective novels, you'd have a lot of rigor mortis. Rigor means stiff, and mortis is dead. So after you die, your limbs go stiff. So that's what rigor mortis is. Okay, and moral obviously is different. So that's the answer. Okay, so okay. So I'm sorry. I think I had some. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So
Okay, so the word mal in Latin is an adverb which means bad. So malady, maladroit, malleable, malevolent. So what's the answer?
Malleable.
Malleable. Very good. So malady is, what does malady mean? It means some kind of a disease. It comes from not well. So bad. So malady is some kind of a sickness or a health problem. Okay, maladroit we already saw, not adroit, not adept. So it's not adroit or not adept. Adroit, adept are very close. They mean skillful. Malevolent, again, it means bad. So the opposite of that would be benevolent, which means good, helpful, etc. The word ad is a Latin prefix meaning to or towards. So what's the answer here? Okay. Are you confused between? Yeah.
Add.
Yes. Okay. So we have people saying add. Any other
Adjure.
answer?
the
Adjure.
A.
Okay. Adverb. Okay. Any other answer?
Adjure. Adjure.
Adjure. Okay. Any other answer? I think you have A, B, and D.
That's
Okay. The answer is B. See, adverb is add plus verb. What's an adverb? An adverb is a verb that either defines a verb, or it's a word that defines an adjective. So adverb comes from add plus verb. Add is to. So it's something that you add to a verb. What is adroit? We don't know. Adjure, I think if you've gone through the video, it's add plus jure, which means to swear or to request, to beg, to request. So again, the etymology, it uses the prefix add. Add literally uses add. So add comes from addendum, which kind of uses add again. So the answer would be adroit because it's got no reference to or towards. So add literally means adding something to something, increasing something to something. So increasing something by something, but adding something to something. So add, that's where the word to comes from. So anyway, D is the right answer. Okay, so the last question, it's 5:51. So we'll start by 5:54. Just take 3 minutes to 2 minutes to just go through it.
Sir,
Yeah,
I'm not able to see the screen.
I think I'm. Just give me a moment. I'm just going to a different screen. Just give me a moment.
Okay.
Uh, you have the worksheet with you, I think.
Yes, sir. I have.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Sir,
Yeah.
there's just two questions, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll start with this. How about this? I think we saw the word tenuous.
Sir, D.
D.
Very good. So plush is something that's lucrative, that's rich and comfortable, you know, luxurious, like a plush house or something like that. So obviously, that's the odd man out. All the other words mean skinny, weak, thin. Okay. How about this?
Sturdy.
Sturdy.
Very good. Sturdy. Wonky means wonky legs. You say that tables had a wonky leg, which means that shaky leg. Rickety again means shaky. Shaky is shaky, which means that it's not sturdy. It's not able to uh, take all the. It's about to fall apart. Okay. Uh, and they're mostly used with reference to furniture. And sturdy is the odd man out. Very good. So the answer is sturdy. Very good. So that's this set. We'll now.
I
Okay. Any doubts? Any doubts so far?
No, sir.
Okay. So we'll just close this file then, and we'll before we move on to the next. Just a moment before we sort of move on to the next file. I think we'll just mm, okay. I think I've sent you a chat a link here. I hope you're all using your computer. So this is our Twitter page, and I think we are sort of uploading a question every day. You can maybe in the evenings, you can just when you're free, maybe you can follow us on Twitter, and you can come here, and if you have a Twitter account, maybe you can follow us. If you don't, maybe you could create one and then follow us. So it could become a place where we can share files, we can share articles, you know, and we can do all that. We can share worksheets. So this month, we're doing mostly RC sessions. From next month, we may have different topics. So if you have a Twitter account, try to follow us. And if you don't, see if you, and if you like that sort of thing, try and see if you can create one. But this is a question. I think you can just go there, use this link, and try and see if you can solve the question. It's a contemporary subject, so I think you'll find it quite interesting too. So yeah, so maybe at the end of this class, after we do the next worksheet, if you've got time, we'll come back to this question. As of now, we'll. Have you been able to open the Google Docs? So yeah, so please just try to kind of open that question and try to solve it. And as of now, we'll just try to come back to this this class. But every day we kind of upload a worksheet, and we can make it an interactive place where you can sort of type in your answers in the comment section, and we can have a discussion. You know, we can take it off class. I think that will help you, and we can share some contemporary happenings and what's happening in the legal field and all that. So you can be keep abreast of what's going on. So I thought we can do that. So okay, I think it's more comfortable to use than WhatsApp. That was the whole idea. And also it's open to public, so people can come in and interact with us. We can learn from them, they can learn from us. Okay, so we'll now come back to VA 35. This is an RC reading comprehension worksheet. It's got 3 questions, and there are a total of 16 questions. So we'll try to, we'll start with the first passage. So it's now 6 o'clock. So until 6:10, please try to solve the first passage. So maybe the aim for today's class should be these 3 passages and the passage in the Twitter page. So that way we can solve a lot of questions. Right now, you can start now and we'll continue at 6:10.
So right now we attempt the passage that is open right in front of us.
Yeah, right. VA 35. Have you received the passage VA 35? No?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So VA 35 is free RC questions. So I think we'll start with the first question. And we'll take some time and then we'll get back to this. Yeah, I think we'll do that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Are we done or do we want more time?
Done, sir.
Okay, I think it's a very straightforward passage. It's from CLAT. I think CLAT 2017. We just made some minor modification. Now the other two are contemporary passages, but the first one to start off, we thought we'd begin with a simple one. How about the others? Do we want more time, or are we all okay to start now? Does somebody want more time?
No, sir.
Just 3 more minutes.
Yeah, okay, fine. I just thought that if we are able to start now, we can probably do the other question too.
Yes, sir, we can show.
Yeah, we'll start maybe in 2 minutes. I think Amit B, I think you wanted more time. Are we okay?
Yes, sir. The last passage only.
The
sixth
last-
paragraph.
Okay, fine. Have you reached the questions?
No, sir. The last paragraph only.
Okay, fine. Okay. And how about the rest of us? Okay, let me ask everyone. How about Vishal? Vishal, are we here? Are you able to hear me? You can chat. Okay, Vishal's left after I asked him. How about Vibha, Shruti?
Done, sir. Done, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Okay, okay, Vishal's there. Vishal,
Sir, I can hear.
you can hear me. Okay, fine. So we'll all of you. Okay, I think we'll start now, and we'll go in a turn, and we'll make sure everyone gets a chance to answer. And I think we'll start with the first person here. So we'll start with Vishal S, and then Ashrita, and then Amit, and then Aniket, and then we'll go on. So we'll start with. Okay, so how about the first question? The Manhattan Project was initiated dash. Vishal, what's the answer? Do we have Vishal? I think they talk about that here, right? You see, Manhattan Project, the matter was considered and the project was called. What was the matter? See, Einstein urged President Roosevelt to launch an American program on nuclear research. The matter was considered and the project called the Manhattan was initiated. So I think that's very straightforward.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay, so the answer is
D.
to carry out, very good, to carry out nuclear research. Excellent. Okay, so how about, so who's the next person in line? Just a moment, let me scroll up and, okay, Ashrita, do we have Ashrita S? Can you hear? Can you use your microphone? Okay, I think we have some problem with Ashrita. You can chat if you can't use your microphone. Okay, so okay, fine. I think we have some problem with her. We'll move on to Amit. Amit,
Yes, sir.
can Amit be? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So we'll have you solve the next question. So how about that? Alfred established the Nobel Prize to what?
So B.
Ease his guilt. Very good. Ease his guilt and promote work for betterment of mankind. Very good. I think that's straightforward. I think they talk about that in this part of the passage. So
Fourth paragraph, sir.
yeah, fourth paragraph. See, he talks about
Fourth line.
yeah.
The
See,
Nobel Prize.
and yeah, so they talk about he began suffering from guilt for having invented the dynamite that was being used for destructive purposes. So he set aside a huge part of his wealth to institute the Nobel Prizes. That's the answer. That is where it is, right? Very good. Very good. Okay. So we'll now move on to question number 3 and we'll see who's in line next. Ashita, are you back? Any way we can connect with you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, very good, Ashita. Great. Okay, so how about question number 3? In paragraph 4, the word accomplished means. So that's paragraph 4, and that is where the word accomplished is used. Does it mean completed successfully, or worked hard, or won awards, or made an effort to do something? It's okay if your microphone isn't working.
So maybe A.
Very good, excellent. It means accomplished, and we say she is an accomplished student, or she is an accomplished writer. So it means someone who's uh, who has made remarkable achievements in his or her field, or someone who's successful. Or we say that mission accomplished, right? So the mission has been accomplished. It's completed successfully. Very good, Ashrita. Okay. So the next question will go to Satlej Kavle.
Yes, sir.
We have Satlej. Very good. Okay. So in the 5th paragraph, the word endorsement means.
Um,
So that's the
B,
5th.
B.
B. What's B?
Expressing one's approval or
Expressing one's approval or support. Very good. Okay. So that is the right answer. We'll just mark that. So see, they talk about endorsement here. This is 5th paragraph. So right. Yeah. You see, Einstein was deeply grieved and he regretted his endorsement. Right? So that's the word. Very good. Very good, Satlej. Okay. So we've done 4. We'll move on to 5. Am I audible?
yes, sir.
Okay, I hope so. But my audio keeps breaking. Okay. Working with arms and ammunitions helped Alfred to amass what?
Wealth.
Aniket. Very good. Okay. So do we have Aniket Amarnath?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what's the answer for that?
Well, see.
Well, yeah, very good. That's straightforward, right? And but that's a CLAT question. So this is a level of question. So I think we are working on one level higher than this. So hopefully your CLAT paper questions are very easy. Okay. So okay, we'll move on to Arya Uday Kumar.
Yes, sir.
Emmanuel's interest in dynamite influenced Alfred's inclination for working dash.
Uh, for the Nobel Peace Prize, I think.
Let's see. See, his father was.
Wait, sorry, with explosives.
Very good. Okay.
I
Fine.
got the wrong this thing.
No problem. That happens all the time. As long
I
as.
mixed up Alfred with Albert.
Okay. Fine. Okay. Good. Okay. So. Okay. So. Okay. So we'll now move on to the next question. The next question is slightly hard. It's. I think it's slightly harder than a typical CLAT question. So it's now 6:16. I think we'll resume at 6:26. So I think we'll do that, and we'll move on with the next person in queue, Dhruv, and we'll keep moving on, and then Kirti, and then Maitri and Pooja. Yeah, and I think we'll stop with Raghav, and then we'll. So this is a slightly harder question. Let's see. Okay, all the best. Start now. Okay, do we start at 16:20? It's 6:24. Does anybody want more time? 2 more minutes. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, does anybody want more time?
Fine, sir. You can start.
Okay, so we'll start with Dhruv Kamalesh.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll start with you and then we'll move on. Okay, so yeah, how about question 7? What could be a possible source of this passage?
Sir, I guess it's A.
A research thesis or an encyclopedia, a newspaper article, an article in a
Sir, I actually have a doubt between A and C.
Okay. See, a research thesis, I mean, what is more likely is, see, a research thesis is going to be more factual, right? You will be presented with more information, more statistics, and all that.
Yes.
Whereas here, see, they start first of all. They start with a contemporary event, the toppling of statues at the Black Lives protests has powerfully articulated the root of modern racism lie in European colonization and slavery. So it's a contemporary.
Yes, sir.
It's a newspaper
Yes.
article, seems.
Yeah, so it is a newspaper article because it's a contemporary subject, and also the tone is
And the next para starts with today. So, I
very good. Yeah, excellent. See, today our
Yes.
impact, okay, are immense. So I think that the today is not necessarily today. I think it means in this age. I think just figurative. It doesn't mean today.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't matter. Very good. I mean, it is a newspaper article. I think on the tone is quite obvious. Very good. Okay. So question number 8. So that's a very good answer. Okay. So we'll Dhruv. Yeah. We'll move on to. Do we have Kirti Narendran? Okay. So how about 8? Which of the following may be said most assertively about the toppling of statues that the author talks about in the above passage? So they talk about the toppling of statues at Black Lives Matter protests has powerfully articulated that the roots of modern racism lie in European colonization and slavery, right? So that's the thing they're talking about. So we'll just scroll down and yeah. So statues were toppled because they were of. So what's the answer? Any guess?
B.
No, I think we have Kirti Narendran. We'll have.
Oh,
Kirti.
my bad.
That's fine, no problem. Okay, so statues were toppled because they were of European colonists who were responsible for environmental degradation. I don't think that the argument of environmental degradation even comes into the picture. So statues were toppled because they were of European colonists who were seen as the root of modern day racism. I think that's a very suitable answer. Very good. So B is the right answer. Excellent. So statues were toppled because the new human dominated period of human history that some call Anthropocene began with European colonization. Again, that isn't the right answer. The right answer is because it was seen as the root of modern day racism. Very good. How about question 9? We've done Kirti. Do we have Maitri Gautam?
Yeah.
Okay. How about 9? Which of the following may not be inferred from the passage? So may not be inferred.
D.
D. Okay.
I think I'm not sure.
Okay, that's fine. You can have a guess. So you say the answer is D. Let's move one by one. So Europe. Okay. Any other answer? Anybody? Maitri says
C.
D.
So C.
Okay. Who says C?
Sutej.
Sutej says. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I call you Satlej. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm sorry for that. I think I just mistook your name. Okay. So we have Sutej saying D.
No, sir. C.
C. Okay. I'm sorry.
Sir,
C. Sutej Kavle says C. Any other answers?
Sir, I'd say it's C too. Raghav.
Okay,
Yeah,
we have Raghav. Raghav saying C. Okay, we'll go one by one. Okay, so Europe was the root cause. Okay, that should have been an off there. I missed the preposition. Europe was the root cause of environmental degradation. Again, from the passage, we can infer that whether that's true or not is immaterial to us. From the passage, we can refer to it. See, they talk about geographers have help can help contribute to this new understanding of past by defining new human-dominated period of Earth as beginning with European colonialism, right? So that's what we can infer from the passage. So A is ruled out. Very good. So B, farming and agriculture societies in the past have contributed to climate change. Again, that is directly inferable. See, they talk about much later, following the development of farming and agricultural societies, we started to change the climate. Right. So we can infer that too. So I think we can rule out B. So that's good. Again, very good. Let's move on to C. Farming and agricultural society started off in European. It should have been Europe, maybe. Started off in Europe. So we can't infer that. Okay. So the statues were toppled, were of European colonists who were racists. I think D can be inferred. See, they talk about the toppling of statues of the
First
Black
paragraph.
Lives Matter protests are powerfully articulated that the roots of modern day racism lie in European colonization and slavery. Okay, so racism will be more forcefully opposed once we acknowledge this history and learn from it. Yeah, so I think that D can be inferred too. So I think C, farming and agricultural society started off in Europe. This cannot be inferred. Right. So I think there's a slight overlook that happens. Nothing to be worried about. All of us go wrong at times. So it's a good attempt. Don't be worried. So we'll move on to Pooja Prasad. Do we have Pooja?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the next question, what is the central argument of this passage? Statues of racist. Yeah. So what's the answer, Pooja? Any answer?
Sir, my guess is C.
Very good. Okay. So we'll just mark C. We'll come back to it. We'll see. Yeah. So statues. Any other answer before we move on to? Okay. So
Sir, I
statues-
think
Maybe
Sir,
the
D.
B.
Sir, D.
okay. So who says D?
Sutej.
Sutej says D. Any other answer?
Sir,
B.
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 Okay.
Yeah, B.
Aniket and Raghav say B.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we'll go one by one. We have Pooja says C. We have Aniket and Raghav say B, and we have Sutej say D. So we'll go one by one. Okay. So the central argument: statues of racist colonies were toppled during the Black Lives Matter movement. Again, that's not the central argument. That is only what you might call a premise. It just starts off, just to start the argument. So we can rule that out. European colonialism led to modern day capitalism and to the era of the Anthropocene. I think that's a very, very pertinent statement. We can't rule it out. It's very strong because this argument does seem to be central. I think that the central theme is the relationship between European colonialism and environmental degradation. So I think we'll have that. We'll have in the pipeline. We'll move on to see the root of modern day racism lies in European colonialism. Again, that's not the central argument. It's only an ancillary. It's only it's not the central theme. Okay, our planetary impacts have increased since our earliest ancestors stepped down from the trees. Again, I don't think that that's the central argument. The central argument would be B. I think B is very powerful because that's what the writer is trying to say from the first passage. They are trying to say that she or he is trying to say that geographers and geologists have contributed to this new understanding of a past by defining the new human-dominated period of the Earth's history as the beginning of European colonialism. And then they talk about Anthropocene movement and all that. So they say that capitalism was caused by colonialism, etc., etc. See, that's the passage. It's not my opinion, but that's what the passage says. I think that the passage would say that the answer is B. Very good. Very good. Okay. So we'll now move on to the next person in queue, and that's Raghav. Do we have Raghav?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll move on to question number 11. Which of the following argument or arguments is that true, if true, might weaken the central argument of the passage? So there are two statements here, two arguments here. One is that one is that human beings have always been violent towards each other and nature. Okay, the eating of bush meat. Bush meat is a meat of wild animals like chimpanzees and bats is an example. So that's one argument. And two is that population is the greatest cause of environmental degradation. So which of the following might weaken the central argument? What's the central argument? The central argument is that European colonialism led to modern day capitalism and to the era of the Anthropocene. That's the central argument, as you rightly said. Now, which of the following, if true, might weaken the central argument? Is it only one or only two, both one and two, or neither one or two? What's the answer?
So maybe only two, I think.
Okay, only two. Okay, any other answers? Would anybody else like to take a shot at it?
Either one.
So it might be D.
B is only two.
No, D.
D.
D is neither one nor two.
Neither one or two. Yeah.
Okay, see, I think if this is true, what happens to it? If human beings have always been violent towards each other, okay, eating bush meat is an example. Now that would rule out, that would weaken the argument that you see, that the new human dominated period of Earth's history as beginning with European colonialism. That would strongly weaken the argument. If you were always violent, and if you always consumed the bush meat, and if you always kept hurting environment, because violence means hurting ourselves and hurting environment. If you're always violent, then it doesn't mean then that would weaken this central argument. And it would weaken the fact that see, human have become the geological superpower, etc. So this is a new okay, that scientists are calling Anthropocene. Okay. So when did see but see, yeah, 5 years ago we published evidence that, yeah, 5 years ago we published evidence that the start of capitalism and European colonization meet the formal scientific criteria for the start of the Anthropocene. So if that is true, if we were always violent and if we were always eating bush meat and hurting environment, then we can't say that the Anthropocene started with European colonization. Maybe it was always there, and European colonization just added a layer to it, or maybe it added a flavor to it. But we cannot say that it. And I think that would weaken the argument, I think. So one is certainly true, and two again is strong, because population is the greatest cause of environmental degradation. That again would kind of that would sort of weaken the argument, the central argument that European colonization is a central theme. See, it says that this was capitalism. See, there's a central argument here. This person who wrote this article is strongly against capitalism, right? So she or he keeps saying again and again that, see, yet Earth only truly became a human planet with the emergence of something quite different. This was capitalism, which itself grew out of European expansion in the 15th and 16th century and the era of colonization and subjugation of indigenous people all around the world. But could population expansion itself be a problem? If that is true, then the central theme itself is questioned, right? So I think that both 1 and 2 will strongly weaken the central argument of the passage. So I think that both 1 and 2 should be the right answer.
But sir, he doesn't deny that humans have always been violent towards each other and the environment, right? What he says is that that violence reached a certain level only during the colonial era.
Okay. Look, have always been violent towards nature. So if they've always been violent, then how can you say that it's because of European colonialism? That, see, what is this whole Anthropocene idea mean? It means that humans are first, which means that humans can get to be violent towards nature. It's okay for human beings to be violent towards nature because humans are first. So I'm not very sure. I think that 1 would weaken the argument because what 1 would imply is that whether or not European colonization took place, human beings would have gone on being violent, and that would have that would have still been there.
Well, but then the question of sustainable violence towards the environment comes into question, right? Because you could argue that colonialism was so aggravated that it led to unsustainable violence towards the environment.
Okay, so the question of sustainable violence, but okay, so I suppose you could say that European violence sort of aggravated it, but I think that with 1, what we can sort of infer is that there is a fundamental tendency towards violence.
Well, if that violence never reached unsustainable levels, it would have been effectively harmless, right?
I'm not very sure, but what about, see, I think it depends on how many people are doing it, right? I mean, if very few people are being violent in a sustainable way, that's okay. But what if a huge population is being violent? Because this passage seems to suggest that the indigenous people were nice people, they were friendly people, and it was Europe that led to capitalism. What Europe did seems to have been just capitalism, but maybe these people caused more harm. Maybe they caused more harm in a way that was not recorded, maybe. How do we know? I mean, maybe they kept going on chopping trees and, who knows? And maybe they went on killing chimpanzees and bats and whatnot. So it's not as if Europe was the cause of violence against nature. I suppose you could bring in the argument of sustainable violence, but again, sustainability depends on so many aspects like population, etc. And you can't blame Europe for population. So I think that both A and B would sort of weaken the argument. It would because it says here that human dominated period of Earth's history as beginning with European colonialism. I think that A would strongly weaken that. It would say that the world has always been human dominated. It's just that Europe sort of came into the picture. So I think that I would really go with C.
Okay, yeah.
Right. So, okay, I think it's 6:44. I think we're supposed to stop this class by 7:12 because we started at 5:12. So maybe take 10 minutes now. It's 6:45. We'll stop at 6:55 and we'll do the next passage. Okay, do we start now? Have you all read the question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So we'll start with the first question. What is the central argument of the passage? And we'll start with the, just give me a moment, we'll see who's next. We've done Pooja Prasad. Do we have Skanda JK? Okay, sometimes there's a problem with the microphone. If you can't use a microphone, please please type in. Can you hear me? Do we have Skanda GK? Okay, how about Sutej? Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So, Skanda, do we have Skanda JK? JK, I'm sorry. Okay, I think there's some problem with the connection. That's okay. So, do we have Vibha Shruti? Vibha?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine, Vibha. So, we'll start with you. How about,
So it could be either.
yeah,
Okay. So it could be either C or D.
either C or D. Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Okay, so let's, any other answer?
So C.
C only.
Only C,
Okay,
sir.
only C. Okay, okay, fine. Let's see. Okay, so the views of Lionel Shriver about Black Lives. Again, Black Lives is just a small part of it, right? She just talks about it here. She just talks about the Black Lives movement here. So that's not the central argument. It's just one of the many things she talks about. So we can't say that that's a central argument. The writing career of Lionel Shriver, we can't rule that out. We'll have it in the pipeline. We'll move on to the next and see if there's something more suitable. Lionel Shriver's dismay over the British people and her views on other contemporary issues. Very good. I think that's more suitable than B. D. Lionel Shriver's views on contemporary fiction. I think again, fiction is just something she talks about, just like she talks about, and I think that C, D sort of is encompassed in C. So I think C kind of holds B and D and A. I think C is the most suitable answer. Are we okay, Vibha?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So we'll now move on and we'll come back to from the beginning. Do we have Ashrita now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll now move on to question number 13. And how about 13? So in the context in which it is used, what does the phrase roll over mean? So where is it used? It's used, she talks about here, right? It here, right? She says, yeah, the British people have never more profoundly disappointed me. It seems so un-British to say, all right then, I'll just roll over and I'll stay home. I think part of it was being able to feed into the Blitz narrative. And she said, the bizarre attachment to being confined to your homes and not making a living and relying on the government. I'm just dismayed. That's what she says. What does dismay mean? Very worried, disgusted, and worried. So dismay is disgusted, worried. Okay. So yes. So Vibha, what do you think? Then just try to rule out answers and see if you can get it. Can it be enjoy, Vibha? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can it be enjoy, Ashrita?
Yes, sir.
Can it be enjoy? Can it be eat a lot of food? Can it be sad? Just roll over from the context. This is a very hard question. So if you can't make it, don't be worried. Anybody else has an answer?
So B.
B. B is enjoy.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Like I said, this is a very hard answer. It's not a very simple. Okay. Rollover literally means to delay payments. It's a financial term. It means to delay payments or to postpone payments of debt or something like that. So what she says here is that to roll over means that to delay the payment of rent and all that and to stay at home. That's what she means. All right, then I'll just roll over, meaning I'll just roll over payments and sort of stay, and I'll stay home. And I think that's what she means. Not, I think that's because enjoy has no real context. It doesn't seem to be okay. C and D can be ruled out. A is, I think B is very close, and I think that I would have given you marks for B, but it literally the answer is A. Never mind. How about 14? We'll see who the next participant is. Do we have Sutej?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How about 14?
So 14.
The context
So I
in which
think,
it is, yeah.
yeah, I think it's D, sir. D.
Okay, left alone. In the context in which it is used, what could be the most befitting meaning of the phrase in hot water? See, she says,
Sir, I think it's B, sir.
okay, I'm sorry, who says B?
Vishal.
Vishal. Okay, Vishal says B. Right, let's see. They talk about it. Yeah, see, the 63-year-old writer who has often found herself in hot water over her strong views on herd mentality and identity politics also went on to question the efficacy of Black Lives Matter protests across the world. So found herself in hot water over her strong views. So she found herself in trouble, right? She was in trouble. So she was a controversial writer. So they talk about her as a controversial writer. They say the controversial writer. So so I think that very comfortable is ruled out because she's controversial. Highly applauded is ruled out. Left alone, again, I don't think that in the context it's going to fit. So look at the context. There's the 63 who has often found herself, very good. Yeah, I think we can't rule it out. Left alone over her strong, but somehow don't you feel that in hot water, don't you feel that in trouble is more suitable? So I think B is more suitable. I think an intelligent reader would think that in hot water means trouble. But again, like I said, it's a very hard question. So don't worry. Very good. Okay. So 15. Who's the next participant? Do we have Amit B?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, Amit. 15. Which of the following cannot be inferred from the passage about Lionel Shriver's views on Black Lives Matter protests across the world? Cannot be inferred. They are not very efficacious. Can that be the answer? See, see, they talk about it here. Also went on to question the efficacy of what does efficacy mean? Effectiveness, right? Efficacy means effectiveness. Effectiveness with a tinge of shrewdness, So you say that there's a dialogue in an old movie. I serve the king the way the king wants to be served, efficaciously, which means that shrewd, not just emotional, not just hard work, but shrewd. Okay, so that's the answer. So again, that can be inferred, right? So I think we can rule that out. That can be inferred. How about B? It is the result of a minority population exaggerating its suffrage. I think even that can be inferred. She says,
So that can be.
yeah. See, I don't think it's helpful to push the minority population to exaggerate their suffering. It's okay. So very good. I think even that can be inferred. So we'll just strike that out too. Okay. It is not concerned about the crux of the problem, but it is instead given to herd mentality. Again, we can see, I think it's important to know where the problems are, but this hyperbolic approach of decrying systemic racism in every institution in the entire country and everyone in it as corrupt and racist. Okay, well, first off, I don't believe, and etc. Right? So she feels that it is eschewing from the. What does crux mean? What does crux mean? It means the heart or the most important part of something, right? That's what crux mean. So she feels that, I think that even this can be somewhat inferred. Even C can be somewhat inferred. I think that D is the most suitable answer.
But sir,
Yeah.
when she can you scroll back down?
Yeah.
Yeah, she says, I think it's important to know where the problems are. So then isn't she conceding that they are showing you where the problems are?
No, she says that I think it's important to know where the problems are instead of just instead of a hyperbolic approach of decrying systemic racism in every institution. So she says that these people are not concerned about exactly where the problem is, but rather they are more concerned about a hyperbolic approach of decrying systemic racism in every institution, in every country, and everyone in it. Okay, so that etc. etc. So they're doing that instead of, and they are, and that to be true. And second of all, that does not admit for any solution on a practical level. So they're not really concerned about the solution, and they're not concerned about the heart of the problem, but rather they're simply decrying systemic racism. That seems to be her view. They're just decrying systemic racism. It's just a herd mentality. They're not a kind of hyperbolic approach, herd mentality. So they're not really concerned about the importance of knowing where the real problems are. So I think that C can be ruled out too, and I think that the answer would be D. Are you okay?
So would
Yeah.
hyperbole imply that you're exaggerating the severity of the problem?
Exactly. Yes, they're doing that. See, what they're doing is they are exaggerating the severity.
Wouldn't they have to know what the problem is?
You could also sort of assume an easier problem and sort of see what she says is, okay, I think one more. Yeah. So what she said that is that instead of thinking about where the real problems are, they are, like you said, they are exaggerating the severity of systemic racism. They say that they think that this is what the real problem is, but maybe the problem is something else. So they're not concerned about where the real problems are, but instead they are exaggerating what they think is the problem, which is systemic racism in every institution. That's what she seems to be, which she thinks is wrong. She doesn't feel that systemic racism exists. So she feels, she says, first off, I don't believe that to be true. And second of all, that does not admit for any solution on practical. Maybe the problem could be lack of culture. Maybe the problem could be that most people are new to the idea of civilization. Maybe that could be her view of what the real problems are. And she could feel that instead of trying to address these real problems, these people are exaggerating what they feel is the most easily approachable problem, which is systemic racism. That seems to be her view.
Okay,
I've-
now I am.
Great. Okay. So thank you for the question. So I think that we could rule out C too. We could say that they're not concerned about the heart of the problem, but instead they are trying to, they are given to a herd mentality of trying to decry the most easily approachable problem. I think that we can go for D. Very good. Okay. So 16, we'll have the next participant coming in. Who's that? Yeah, Aniket Amarnath. So from the passage, what can you infer about the kind of fiction that Lionel Shriver is likely to appreciate?
Option D.
Okay, so yeah, fiction that is over the edge and not confiding to rigid political. Very good. Yeah, I think that should be the most appropriate answer. So thrillers, I'm not sure, but we can't rule it out. But it could just be the examiner, playing the fool. Fiction that is apolitical. Again, I don't think that's you can't rule out. Fiction from a minority population that can be ruled out because she doesn't seem to care about all that. So between B, C, and D, like Aniket says, I think D is more suitable. I think we can do that. Okay, I think we'll stop here. And thank you, and very good. And I think you can try to solve the passage on the link I sent to you. I think I'll see if I can just send you the Google Doc. You can just download the Google Doc. Does anyone have a problem in trying to download the Google Doc?
Sir, I've solved it already. Can I just send it on Twitter in the replies?
Yeah, please do that, or you can even email it to me. Thank you. I mean, you can do it on Twitter, or you can send it to me on my email or anything. Thank you. So if you have a Twitter account, please try to follow us. And if you don't, please try to create one and then try to follow, because I think we'll keep trying to send in a question every day. And I think we already have Aniket following us, so thank you for that. So maybe you could follow us and we'll keep trying to share questions. I think Twitter is a more convenient place to share files than WhatsApp, because WhatsApp is a phone. So, okay, I think we'll stop here. And if you have any doubts,
Sir, the Google Doc, where is it, sir? It's in Twitter.
yeah, I think one moment. I think I'll see if I can just give you the link for that. I'll just try to just a moment. So I'll just see the Google Doc is in the file, the link that was shared there, right? The link, just a moment. I think we'll I'll just make sure that you're all able to receive the files. Okay, so I'll just send you the link of the Google Doc. I think, yeah. So that link there, right? That's a Google Doc. So I'll just send it to you on chat. I'll just send you the link on chat, so that even if you can't access the Twitter page, you can access the Google Doc, and you can just download it and sort of use it. So have you now received a link?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think that link should get you to do it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think we'll stop now, and yeah, I think we'll stop now, and we'll see if we can continue the next class. And okay, so I think we stop now. All the best and goodbye, and thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank
And if you have any patches that you can't solve, please email it to me, and I think I'll try my best to solve it for you. Okay, so all the best and good luck. And please try to maintain a notebook and collect words. It'll really help you in the long run too. So all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.